Happy hump day. Happy hump day, guys. So it's Wednesday, first leg day of the week. Obviously I'm doing the AM PM sessions again now, but there might be a little bit of an obstacle to get around today because the gym does close earlier due to it being Labor Day in Thailand today. So gym will be shutting at 9 PM, which I mean shouldn't be an issue. You shouldn't be training after 9 PM anyway, in my opinion, unless if you're working permanent night shifts, in which case I can kind of see the justification in it there. However, yeah, I just don't think there's going to be anything remotely productive about your training session after 9 PM a lot of the time. I mean, I used to get away with it a little bit when I was younger, but it doesn't mean it was ideal. So I mean, it shouldn't really be an obstacle, although it's still worth mentioning that the gym hours are shorter today, so there's a slight chance I might not get in for my second session today. So I'll see how I'm feeling at the end of my glute hamstring session, the one that I'm doing right now, or the one that I'm about to start doing. And if I'm feeling all right, if I've got a little bit of gas in the tank, I might just smash out my 3 quad exercises after this session. And so it's all done in the one session. Not ideal, especially in this heat. I mean, it's currently 103, 104 Fahrenheit. So it's pretty hot, guys. And it's very, very humid too. It's not like a dry heat. Like it's a very humid heat. So it absolutely saps the life and the energy out of you. So see how things go, but 2 working sets on this. 220 pound like last week. I got 10 and 9, I believe. So I'm shooting for 2 sets of 10 or a set of 11 and a set of 10. That'd be fantastic if I could do that. But yeah, that's the plan of action. Already did 2 warm-up sets, so this will be working set number 1. Might have looked like I had 1 more rep in me, but I can assure you I didn't. That was, it's like 1 rep in reserve, which I'm kind of aiming for on this, 1 to 2 reps in reserve. So I mean, I'll probably only hit 10, worst case scenario 9 on the second working set. Although we'll just see how things go. Oh. You know what? I might actually do 3 sets of this instead of 2 today. Just do 3 exercises instead of 4. So normally I do 2 sets of 4 different exercises for this session. Although now that John's headed back to Texas for a bit, I might take the Nordic curls out. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think they're a great exercise. I'd prefer to do a little bit more volume on less exercises. So that way, when I need to rotate a new exercise in, I actually have something that is feasible, something that I connect well with, that I can load effectively and progress on. And if I have, say, all of my eggs in one basket, when I have to swap one of those eggs out because the egg's a little bit spoiled, I guess you could say, for a fresh egg, I've got no fresh eggs to choose from because they're all in the goddamn program already. So I might just take them out, do a little bit more volume on the remaining exercises. Because John was the main proponent of having those in the session because we kind of collectively put the session together. Yeah, I'll just do 3 of these, 3 of these, 3 or 2 to 3 sets of stiff legs, and 3 sets of laying hamstring curls to finish off. But that'll also increase my probability of sticking around and doing the quad work afterwards. So I guess there's a silver lining to it in that sense. Yeah. Oh. I always feel like I'm kind of getting into like a spaceship when I sit in a machine at the gym. It's kind of weird. Like, gives me kind of childhood astronaut fantasy vibes. Don't know if you ever used to kind of have a childhood dream of being like an astronaut or something cheesy like that, but I wanted to be an astronaut for as long as I could remember when I was younger. And I even actually, funny story, first time I actually went to university, I enrolled in astrophysics. I was dead set on becoming an astronaut. Then I just really got the iron bug bad in uni. I'd already started training, but I got very involved in weight training after that point, and I thought to myself, you know what? Screw this. The thought of even stopping weight training for more than a month was just so unappealing to me that I just decided to no longer pursue it. And I got so interested in the biology and the physiology of muscle growth that I changed my majors at university. So yeah, funny thing that. But yeah, just I've always had a pretty big imagination, so even as an adult now, I guess getting into this is just nostalgic, I suppose. Time for the hard exercise. Now, I believe I already went over it in last week's leg day, the reason why I'm using the smaller diameter plates, but it's just basically to create more of a deficit, create a bigger range of motion without necessarily elevating my feet off the floor, because I do feel a lot more stable with my feet planted on the floor. So in the past, my alternative approach to doing this or achieving this was to place a bumper plate on the floor and elevate myself, so that way I'm creating the deficit via elevating my starting position. Whereas with this kind of a method, I can keep my feet fully planted and just basically increase the range of motion without changing the stability of my feet. So that's the main reason. Should use my butcher hooks. Hopefully I've got them in here. I did order those lifting straps, like I said, although they just haven't arrived yet. Neither the first or the second pair. Although the butcher hooks will tie me over for the meantime, hopefully. I can find the other one. There it is. These are good, but they are the medium size. I obviously don't have medium sized hands. So it's a bit of a fuck around, I'll be honest. So I'll take my Apple Watch off while I do this set. Ideally, I would want the large or the extra large, whatever their biggest size is. My hands are not small, I'll tell you that. And it's not me saying that, that's every person that shook my hand that's saying that. I thought they were normal, but they're clearly not. Whereas, I want to make sure I have a even grip. All right, there we go. Now, same weight as last week, although because I didn't do the Nordic curls today, my hamstrings might be a little bit less locally fatigued. So I might get a PB on this today, even though I've got 3 sets and not 2. Yep. Very conservative PB. Whew. 10 is all I've got on that one. All right, so currently there's a little bit of maintenance work being done in the gym, so somebody's working near the adductor machine that I normally use. So I'm gonna have to just shuffle things around a little bit. And if that's not free, I'll just use a different adductor machine for the adductors today. But as of not the last leg session uploaded, because I don't know if I am going to upload the second leg session from last week or not, but as of the most recent leg session I did do on the weekend last week, I've switched to this leg extension, the Techno Gym, because you get way more of a stretch. Like you can set this like all the way forward. Struggled a little bit to kind of set it up then. But yeah, you can set this all the way forward and get a real deep stretch all the way through the rec fem, through the VMO. So I really do think that I'm just going to use this one from now on instead of the Nautilus Nitro. Even though the Nautilus Nitro is good, you just don't get enough of a stretch. It's very well loaded through the actual movement, but just not enough of a stretch. Whereas this is just king. And you also have this kind of ridge on the end of the seat that's a little bit more elevated than the rest of the seat, so you kind of, it's propping your knees up. It almost kind of like pushes in the back side of your knees, so it kind of like helps stabilize everything. And it just feels really, really good, I'll tell you that. All right. Weight wise, I'm gonna go 120 pound, because I think that was what I used last session. Oh. No, it wasn't. It was definitely lighter. Actually, it was 80. Shit, I don't know how I got 80 and 120 confused. That's a big error on my behalf. Anyhow. Okay. Might grip onto the seat this set instead of the handle, see if it makes a difference. I'm actually going to do a third set. Better execution. I'll be a little stricter. There we go. A little bit of a tip when you're training adductors, guys. If you want to target a specific adductor muscle more than the others, you can actually do so if you have a adjustable hip adduction machine like this one here that I'm using. So when you change the degree of hip extension, it'll influence which adductor muscles are loaded more or less. And given that the adductor magnus is both a hip extensor and a hip adductor, if you place yourself in more hip extension while performing loaded adduction, you're going to actually recruit that adductor magnus a little bit more than you would if you were, say, in more hip flexion. So that's basically what I'm doing here. I'm deliberately trying to load the adductor magnus more. And basically, yeah, that's just a little bit of a tip for you. If you do have one of these machines, definitely don't think that all hip angles are created equally. They will influence, to varying degrees, different adductor muscles because you have multiple adductor muscles. Alright, so final exercise, pendulum squats. This is my leg pressing movement of the session. 2 sets of these, hopefully I don't die, hopefully my old man knees hold up. And I'm only doing, believe it or not guys, I'm doing 2 45-pound plates on here, nothing more than that. I mean, one, when you weigh more, you don't need as much load for an exercise like this where you are bearing not only the weight of the exercise but also the machine and your body weight itself. But 2, a lot of people don't perform this correctly. They load it up way too much, they ego lift, they shorten their range of motion, and they just get a smaller return on investment for the amount of load they're moving. And a lot of the times they mess their joints up more in the process. So my goal isn't to impress anybody online or mess my joints up, so I'd rather go a bit lighter, focus on tempo and execution.
Oh man. Shit. It's 105 degrees. Oh.